So question 25 says factor the polynomial completely. So again, one of the first things that we kind of recognize is kind of strange because this power of 4 here. Before we deal with that though, notice that there is a greatest common factor possibly, because it looks like 3 does go into 243. So if we use our calculator and divide 243 by 3, does it go in there evenly? Looks like an 81. So it looks like we can factor a 3 out. So this is going to leave me the x to the fourth, if you will. And the 243 divided by 3 left me this 81. So what we have now is 3 times x to the fourth minus 81. Well, notice how this is kind of a difference of squares. So this x to the fourth minus 81, what squared gives me x to the fourth would actually be x squared. And what squared gives me 81 would be actually a 9. So it is a difference of squares. So that means the formula a squared minus b squared, it's going to factor into a minus b times a plus b. So we have this 3 times then this x squared minus 9 times x squared plus 9. So it looks like we're done, but actually the x squared minus 9 looks like a difference of squares. Because if I look at the x squared minus 9, there is something squared. X squared gives me x squared. And what squared gives me 9 would actually be a 3. So what I'm going to do is kind of rearrange this a little bit. 3 times x squared plus 9. And I'm going to put this x squared minus 9 on the end. And I'm actually going to factor that. So this 3 comes down. The x squared plus 9 is not a difference of squares. It's not factorable. But the x squared minus 9 actually factors into x minus 3 times x plus 3. So this problem actually is kind of interesting there, how it factors quite a few times because of that exponent of 4. So it actually had two difference of squares in it as we factored it. So that should be the final answer. 3 is a factor, x squared plus 9 is a factor, x minus 3 is a factor, x plus 3, I'm sorry, x minus 3 is a factor, and then x plus 3 is a factor. So those would be our 4 factors, and it would be now completely factored.